Welcome back to the Tul World podcast. I'm your host, David Jew, and I'm here with Master Jew.
How's it going there, Mr. Jew?
It's going okay. So we're continuing with flying techniques. Yeah, just a lot of questions on them, I guess.
A lot of questions.
Or a lot of thoughts on them. So this week we're going to be covering over the principles of flying techniques.
Go for it.
Okay, so number one, you got to kick at the apex of the jump.
That's right.
Yeah, nothing too exciting there.
What happens when you do double kicks? Because you jump, you kick at the apex, you're doing double kicks, and you go, you're falling down. So you throw another one. Can you jump and execute two flying side piercing kick at the apex of the jump? You're gonna be fast. You gotta be fast. Gotta be super fast for that.
You would be pretty fast.
Boom.
That's a good question. Well, sometimes a
Well,
lot of times it's two opponents that are standing, so your jump is more like an arc. So I'm gonna kick, boom, boom, and then come down.
Maybe.
Hmm.
How about triple kicks? Can you do three? And down.
You could.
Or is it
It's possible, but
kick?
oh, you mean all at the same point? No, that's not really possible.
Be tough, right?
No, yeah.
We're talking about singles.
Single kicks, yeah. With number two, we have the back should be straight when executing the kick, with some exceptions.
Meaning don't lean back.
Don't lean back?
Is that what you're saying?
Don't curve the back?
To me, it sounds like it's like when you do a side piercing kick, you actually try to stay upright as much as possible, as opposed to leaning back. Because when you start leaning back, the energy starts to go in the opposite direction as well. And so, to me, if I was doing a flying back kick and I leaned back to execute the technique, some of it's kind of going in the opposite direction, and then you're going to fall down on your hand anyway or something because it's not straight.
Right. All right, number three. This is where we're starting to get a little bit more controversial here.
Oh, no.
The non-kicking foot must be tucked and not drooped at the moment of impact. Yeah, so obviously we should try to tuck in the leg, but what about a kick like in Juche or Kodang with the flying reverse turning kick?
Well, you do see it differently, and so the way I used to do it, anyway, was I tried to tuck the leg. It's only recently I saw some countries did it where they just kind of like give it a little hop.
Yeah, well, it's really hard to... it's really hard to tuck and pose the kick as it's spinning around.
Well, sometimes you don't pose. Because you're right, because some countries actually jump, it's not very high, and they kick and they pose it.
So that's the question. So when you did it and you tucked the leg in, were you posing?
No.
Were you trying to hold it out, or you
No.
jump, threw it out, and then recovered?
That's right. Jump, throw the kick, recover, land.
Right.
That's the way I used to do it.
Okay.
So, but now I see it's like a little hop, hold that leg out, pose it, land, pose it, and then set the foot down.
Right.
I don't know.
So
you wonder why people say forms is not realistic.
Yeah.
Right now, why would I do it that way? I'm not sure.
But I think like when you do the reverse turning kick, and I spin around, if I'm doing it in sparring, I'm not tucking up that leg. I'm giving it a little hop. Maybe, possibly.
Yeah. So why tuck the leg? I think the one of the reasons why we would tuck the leg is action reaction. We want to get our body. It's kind of like if I punch, the hand comes back. When I kick, that tucking is that kind of same concept. Do we always do that? The answer would be no. I mean, obviously, like if you're doing a quick hop, if you want to call it a hop, flying is when both feet is off the ground, right? That's what the definition is. But the principles of flying is that you should tuck it. So if I'm doing a quick flying back kick, do I tuck it? John Che says yes. You go one, up, tuck, kick.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that is a pretty strong kick. It's not just a tap. You see, like when you're doing sparring and you quickly jump up and you tag them, sometimes because they're coming in at it, boom, it knocks the wind out of them. But you didn't really hurt them. But what if I want to hurt them? I want to really get that body involved, right?
Right.
And I think that the tucking actually gets the whole body involved.
Yeah.
When you do that.
Okay, so let's move on.
Maybe some controversy. Someone's gonna say, "What the heck are you talking about?"
Yeah, maybe.
That's good. We like that.
Number 4 here. Immediately after kicking, resume a good posture and balance.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Is it? Is it that interesting?
Well, I kind of think it is because I've seen it where people jump up, they land, and then they land in the knife hand guarding block or whatever the technique is supposed to be, right? That's what you're talking about?
No, that's the next one.
Oh, that's it.
And then, I guess they kind of go hand in hand because number 5 is proper stance must be regained at the moment of landing.
Okay, so let's go back to number 4. What does it
Okay.
say exactly again?
Immediately after kicking, resume a good posture and balance.
Right after. Yeah, well, basically.
You kick, don't fall over?
Yeah, don't fall down.
Yeah. See, I said that's why I was saying that's not that interesting.
So you're right. That's not interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously that makes a lot of sense. Although some techniques it is kind of hard to do that. Let's say you're doing a flying twin side piercing kick. Boom. In
Right.
Mission Impossible, you see them fall down in the sand, not on their feet. Now that's not easy, okay? So even if you did it on the bag, you jump up, both feet is on the bag, you recover and land.
Right.
Or do you hit the bag and you fall down?
Practicing it for a little bit, I found that you have to hit the target pretty hard. You have to hit a pretty solid target to be able to land on your feet. So like in the movies, they do it where they fall down.
Right.
There was a video of some North Korean soldiers doing it, but they're breaking tile. And that's not a solid surface, so they're jumping and breaking it and then falling down.
Right.
But if you hit a bag or maybe somebody's holding a body shield, it kind of gives you that.
It kind of like stops?
Yeah, it stops you
and
enough
that kind
that
of
you can
allow
get your
you
feet.
to regain that
Right.
balance and fall down.
So-
But it's not easy when you're doing it without hitting something.
No,
you
it's
do a
not.
flying side piercing kick and you see all these little kicks coming down here and you try to land. Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah,
Certain
Right.
things can help
right.
that. But yeah, it's when you do a flying technique, you just don't want to fall down.
Yeah. Okay, number 5, we got, let's read this. Proper stance must be regained at the moment of landing. And that's also a pretty controversial one.
Well, I
when-
don't know if it's controversial. It's just that we see it differently sometimes. I've seen where someone does a flying technique and they land like an L stance, both feet at the same time, and they're posing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you see it jump up, one foot lands, and then the one is set down, right?
Right. So for certain kicks, it's easy to land in the guarding position. Flying side piercing kick,
Flying twin front snap
flying
kick,
twin front snap kick, you could easily land.
and then land.
The question comes down to, do all the techniques need to do that?
So you think you can jump,
Kick
kick,
and then land in the
land.
guarding position.
I mean, yeah. So you have to have a lot of hang time,
Yeah.
right? So that means you got to tuck that leg, hang time, and land. Can you also land and execute the knife hand guarding block with power if you were supposed to handle 2 opponents?
I think so. It's possible.
Because you're supposed to execute the knife. You can't just land and go place that. You actually land and block.
Unless the knife and guarding block's purpose was just to have the hands up and ready. But it comes down to other techniques like the flying reverse turning kick or flying back kick. Spin around and then land in a position. Is that logical?
I think when you're jumping, a lot of times, you kick, you tuck that leg out, and that other leg's coming down. Well, that foot is going to land. So what is the actual meaning of landing? So think of it this way, I guess. If I was in an airplane and it's landing, well, the back wheel lands, and then the front wheel will set down. What
Right.
is the landing considered landing? You don't see a plane come in and boom,
Yeah,
like that.
that's true.
Is that landing? Yeah, it's landing.
Yeah.
Or is it one of the back wheels landing and then the front wheel? He's landing, and then both wheels are on the ground. He's landed.
Right. Well, that whole sequence is landing.
That whole sequence landing, but he is landed when both wheels are on the ground. So why that cannot be the same in Taekwondo? I jump up, I'm in the process of landing, I land with the one leg, and then the other foot lands, and I execute the technique. Now I kind of think of it that way in like that airplane idea, is that I've now landed and executed a knife hand guarding ball, or I landed and I executed a back fist, or I landed and I execute a 4-fist punch, or whatever. What do you think?
That's a good thought. Never thought about it that way.
Because it does look kind of weird sometimes. I've seen where someone jumps up and they land with both feet and they execute the technique. I think some techniques you can do that. I just think that sometimes it doesn't seem right. Doesn't look right.
Well, they sacrifice some things on the kick
Right.
because of the landing.
It's true, because sometimes you've covered a lot of ground and you don't have that hang time to be able to land like that.
All right, well, those are the principles of flying kicks.
What were they again?
I don't know, go back on the video, watch that again.
Go back and watch that, or go open the encyclopedia.
Yeah, anyways, thanks for jumping into the Tul World podcast. And don't forget to be safe.
Keep training.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Keep fighting.